Hi guys, I wanted to make a video about chapter 12 out of the Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard, Subjective Control. I think it's a really nice chapter, so let's get into it. Your imagination is able to do all that you ask in proportion to the degree of your attention. All progress, all fulfillment of desire depend upon the control and the concentration of your attention. So basically, we know that from the law of assumption or the law of attraction, you can call it however you want, we can create the life that we want with our imagination. But to actually be able to do that, we have to develop our concentration and the power to focus on a thought, on a feeling state, on a reality that we want to create or attract. Attention may be either attracted from without or directed from within. Attention is attracted from without when you are consciously occupied with the external impressions of the immediate present. The very lines of this page are attracting your attention from without. So basically he's explaining here that when we focus our attention on the outside world, right, for example, when you are eating something, when you're watching TV or you're talking to another person, then your senses are focused on the outside, and that is basically the attention from without. And now he says your attention is directed from within when you deliberately choose what you will be preoccupied with mentally. So when you actually decide what do I want to focus on, then this is attention from within. And this is really what we have to practice. It is obvious that in the objective world, your attention is not only attracted by, but is constantly directed to external impressions. And this is really true, right? Especially in our world today, where we have so many distractions, social media, the news, all of this stuff, and then all our attention goes to these external impressions. And we don't really have the attention anymore to focus on the state within. But your control in the subjective state is almost non-existent, for in this stage, attention is usually the servant and not the master, the passenger and not the navigator of our world. There's an enormous difference between attention directed objectively and attention directed subjectively. And the capacity to change your future depends on the latter. So really he's saying here that if you want to really change our life, we have to learn to put our attention subjectively, to use it in a way where we decide on what moods, on what ideas we actually want to focus on. When you are able to control the movements of your attention in the subjective world, you can modify and alter your life as you please. But this control cannot be achieved if you allow your attention to be attracted constantly from without. So if you're only focusing on the external impressions, then you really cannot achieve that. Each day, set yourself the task of deliberately withdrawing your attention from the objective world and focusing it subjectively. That's a really good suggestion, I think, to basically make a habit where you have some kind of mindfulness practice. It can be maybe meditation, where you focus on your breathing or on something that you want to create, on a vision. And then you really train this attention like a muscle. And then it will get stronger and stronger, and you will be able to, alter your life. In other words, concentrate on those thoughts or moods which you deliberately determine. Then those things that now restrict you will fade and drop away. The day you achieve control of the movements of your attention in the subjective world, you are master of your fate. You will no longer accept the dominance of outside conditions or circumstances. You will not accept life on the basis of the world without. So once we actually master this ability to focus our attention on something, to have total control of our thoughts, of our feelings, then we can really create anything that we want in our life. Nothing is going to stop us. But this is the key. This is what we have to train. And this is why we have to train it really like a muscle. Having achieved control of the movements of your attention and having discovered the mystery hid from the ages that Christ is in you, that Christ in you is your imagination, you will assert its supremacy of imagination and put all things in subjection to it. So really, if we do that, if we develop this habit of cutting out our external impressions, going into some kind of meditation and training our attention, then we will discover the power of our imagination as we create anything that we want: money, health, success, relationships. But this is the first step, right? The training of your attention. And this is what I would say we should do, and what I'm also trying to do, to have some kind of mindfulness practice every day. Okay, guys, thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next video.